students, after discussing about the characters of the platyhelminthes, we'll be discussing about the reproduction that takes place in the platyhelminthes or the flatworms, and also we'll discuss about the examples that are present in the platyhelminthes. So let's start. All the animals of this phylum are bisexual or hermaphrodite, means both male and female sexual organs are present in the same organism. The reproductive system in these animals is complex, but at the same time it is well developed also. The fertilization in these animals is self or cross and internal. In internal fertilization, the fusion of the male and the female gametes, that is the sperm and the ovum, occurs in the body, inside the body of the organism. In self-fertilization, the fusion of the male and the female gamete occurs in the body of the organism produced by the same organism. But in the cross-fertilization, opposite of this happens. The fusion of the male and the female gamete occurs by the production of these gametes by two different organisms. The cleavage in these animals is spiral and determinate, and development may be direct or indirect. In indirect development means an animal is going through a larval stage. So larva may be of one or more types. In these animals, yolk that is present in the egg provides nutrition to the eggs. So this figure shows the reproductive system in planaria. You can see ovary is present at the top of the organism, and below it testes are present. So this is a hermaphrodite animal. You can also see the yolk glands that provide the nutrition to the eggs of these animals, a distinct pharynx and a gastrovascular cavity is also shown. Genital pore for sexual relations can also be seen. So what happens in the spiral cleavage? In a spiral cleavage, suppose that this is an ovum. After two divisions, 4 blastomeres are formed, which I am numbering them as 1, 2, 3 and 4. So these 4 blastomeres are actually known as the macromeres. So these macromeres are formed after 2 divisions of the ovum. So after the third division, what happens is that these blastomeres, they divide to form 4 micromeres. The macromeres, they divide to form 4 more cells that are known as the micromeres, which can be shown like this. So these are the micromeres. But the difference is in the spiral cleavage is that these micromeres, they rotate clockwise a bit. So they are not present directly on the top of these macromeres. Here you can see that they are present on the furrow of these macromeres. So on this spiral activity of the micromeres, this cleavage is known as the spiral cleavage. And in determinate cleavage, what happens is that each blastomere is destined to form a part of an embryo. So now we come to the examples part of platyhelminthes, in which there are many flatworms like planaria and fasciola particularly. In planaria, you can see 2 eye spots are present on the top of the head. And the main thing here to note is that a pharynx that is protruding out of the body of this animal, which leads to mouth and a pharyngeal chamber. Here you can also see that nervous system is ladder-like, that we have already discussed about. The second example is of the fasciola. You can see here there is an anterior sucker which leads to pharynx, and there is also a posterior sucker which is known as the acetabulum, and also ovary uterus and intestines you can also see, and excretory pore is present at the end of an organism. So now we move on to our next examples, which are equally important. The next example is of the Taenia solium. Taenia solium is characterized by the presence of hooks and suckers which are present on the head region of these animals, which is known as scolex also. So when these worms, they grow, they form numerous small proglottids. So the upper part forms the immature proglottids, the middle part forms the mature proglottids, and the end part, that is the posterior part, forms the gravid proglottids. The next example is of the schistosoma. Male and female organs both are present in the same organism. There is a sucker, acetabulum is present, there is an oral sucker is present which leads into the esophagus. Also you can see here the yolk glands. The yolk glands which provide the nutrition to an egg. So this completes our characteristics of Phylum Platyhelminthes. Phylum Platyhelminthes includes the flatworms. The Platyhelminthes has been derived from a Greek word in which platy means flat and helminths means worm. These Platyhelminthes are triploblastic, bilaterally symmetrical animals and are acoelomates. In these worms, cephalization is distinct. That means formation of the head starts from this phylum. So the anterior and the posterior ends are distinct. These animals have adhesive organs and locomotory organs are absent in these animals. Adhesive organs like hooks and suckers are present, through which they attach inside the body of the host. Their body is covered with a thick cuticle called the tegument, and this tegument helps these animals. This tegument protects these animals from the digestive enzymes of the host, and this integument is derived from the epidermis. These are acoelomates, and it is the largest phylum of the acoelomate animals. In between various organs of these animals, a loose mesodermal tissue called the parenchyma, or also called as the mesenchyma, is present. The turgidity of this fluid helps to maintain the form of the body of these animals, and this is known as the hydroskeleton. In these animals, the skeletal and the circulatory system are absent, and the animals respire through the general body surface, whereas in the parasitic forms like Taenia, anaerobic respiration is present. These animals have a blind sac plan, so the digestive tract has a single opening. The digestive tract is incomplete. So the single opening serves both as a mouth and an anus, but this the digestive tract may be reduced or absent in the parasitic forms like the Taenia. So these animals have a muscular pharynx that is present outside the that comes out through the body of these animals, and they catch the prey through this muscular pharynx. So this pharynx attaches to their food or the prey, and they suck everything that is inside these inside from the host. All the nutrition and the blood is sucked through the muscular pharynx, and it goes into the body of these animals. The excretory organs are protonephridia, or the flame cells. These flame cells are also known as the solanocytes, and they help in the osmoregulation of these animals. The nervous system is ladder-like, and the sense organ occur in the free-living form like the planaria, and these sense organs are present on the head region of these organisms. Like in the planaria, you can see two eye spots. These eye spots are sensory in nature. These the sensory organs help in knowing the vibrations going around these worms. So these sense organs help. These animals are bisexual, and the reproductive system is complex and well developed, and they have vitelline glands or yolk glands that provide nutrition to the eggs, and eggs are carried inside the body of these organisms. So these eggs, the eggs, they carry the eggs.
If you have any other doubts, you can post them for free on askiitians.com. On the Ask IITian page, you will find the option of discussion board. So on the page of discussion board, you can post your questions under the Ask Experts by selecting various categories in this white box. And by clicking on the Get Answer, you can get the answers of your questions within the next 24 to 48 hours.
So students, as you have seen that in this part we discussed about the reproduction that happens in the Platyhelminthes and also some of the important examples that are present in the phylum Platyhelminthes. Now after the flatworms, in the next part we'll move on towards the discussion about the roundworms. So stay tuned for that.